So this is a very big point in the campaign because now we're going to look over the info addicts. And once again, the world is very divided. There's a lot of great powers, but no one really standing out, which I think is making this series so entertaining. And I think we are probably going to see a lot of Ethiopia, as well as a lot of Korea on the top categories for the info addicts. But before I jump into that, I want to briefly mention that science funding was not passed in the previous World Congress. Very big deal there. That will have a pretty big impact on the world, I think, because if it would have got passed, obviously I think we could have seen obviously a lot more science going around, a lot more technology, getting faster, I guess, down the tech tree, but we're going to be going at the same pace, it seems like. But I think that's, it doesn't really matter. Either way, it doesn't really impact the game. Anyways, here we go, population. So right now the Philippines still officially in the #1 spot for population, which is really shocking. I actually said in a video previously that I thought that they would definitely fall out of that #1 spot. I don't know if I said definitely fall out of the #1 spot, but I thought they'd fall. They definitely obviously lost numbers, but clearly they were way out ahead because they are still at #1. Surprisingly enough, Indonesia is in second place, and then Ethiopia, like we expected, Mongolia, and then Russia. Poland, Portugal, Rome, Korea, and Congo leading out the top 10. And I'll try to look at the top 10 a little bit, but yes. Crop yields still goes to Mongolia, then it's Ethiopia, so that's a big deal. So Genghis Khan still has an advantage in the corner, even if he hasn't gone to that many wars. He's been focused on colonization, and Ethiopia has not. And that's one thing that Genghis Khan has over the Ethiopians. Ethiopia cannot easily colonize. The Romans, I think, might even catch the Ethiopians at some point because they're not too far behind, and Rome has shown their desire to colonize the New World. Then we have Russia, Portugal, Korea, Poland, Congo, the Philippines, and Indonesia leading out the top 10. We've got the manufactured goods. Rome still producing the most amount, which makes me believe that if the World's Fair ever gets passed, or if it ever gets proposed, which I'm sure it will eventually, then it might go to Rome. But then again, you know, there's a lot of time before the next possible proposal for the next World's Fair. I did not vote for it. I might consider voting for it at a certain point if they're still asking me to propose something, but we'll see. Then it's Ethiopians, Russia, Mongolia, Korea, Portugal, Poland, Congo, Indonesia, and France. So GNP doesn't really matter that much, but we've got Rome, Mongolia, and Russia leading out the top 3. I am leaving out Portugal quite a bit. I did forget that they have some strength. We've got Mongolia in the #1 spot in terms of their military. Then it's Indonesia in '2, Russia in 3, Portugal. Look how low the Ethiopians are. They're barely in that 10th place spot. That's a big deal. England actually in 7th place, which is surprising. Champa in 8th place. So there's a lot of big surprisers. Big surprising, numbers out here that are being shown around. Indonesia being one of them in 2nd place. That's crazy. Let's check on technologies. The Philippines are, 7 techs ahead of everybody else. Wow. All right, well, they're pretty much not... I'm so glad that I disabled Science Victory because I don't think they deserve the victory here. They definitely do not. We should probably even just kind of disregard them here. Mongolia, Korea, and then we have Indonesia 1 tech behind those two. Then we have Russia, Rome, Mali, and Poland. There's kind of... It's pretty close. It is all pretty dang close. No big standouts besides the Philippines, but let's just ignore that. Mongolia winning the cities game. Didn't realize that. Didn't realize that Mongolia was still 5 cities ahead of Ethiopia. Then we have the Romans at 12 and Ethiopia at 10. Korea and Russia tied with 9. And I think that's about it. I do want to check on wonders. Philippines have a lot of wonders. Russia has a lot of wonders. So does Ethiopia. India. Wow, I didn't realize India was building so many in Delhi. That's pretty shocking. And that is about it. Maybe we could check on tourism. Mongolia's got a lot of it. Maybe because they've stolen it away or something. But anyways, let's go ahead and go to the next turn. Again, still, I'm very divided. I guess I'm underestimating the Mongolians. Just because they aren't going to war doesn't mean that they don't still kind of somewhat lead the pack in a lot of the info addicts categories. They still really rule they rule most of the categories, and they've been focusing in on colonization, not much with war, which is really surprising. England really gaining a lot of strength. I was so surprised to see them so high on that list. I'm guessing it's partly has to do with maybe their technology advancements, as well as because they only have 3 cities, the AI does tend to be, obviously since they're playing tall, they're able to, you want to play tall when you're going for kind of a technology sort of victory thingy, and you want to be ahead. If you want to be ahead in technology, the AI likes to play tall. And that's what England is doing right now. They've got 4 cities, actually. I'm forgetting about Nottingham as well. Oh, that's right. And I forgot about this city, too. But But yeah, no, I mean, England's, I guess they could still make a comeback. I don't know if it'd be, I don't know, we'll see. The Romans are going to get dangerously close to that Mongolian 15 city info addicts category that they rule right now, because they're sending over, I think, was it 2 settlers? I can't remember off the top of my head. I know we've got 1 in Iberia. I thought we had 2. No, there was 2. There we go. There's 3. So there's 1 in North Africa, 1 still in Iberia, and 1 that's already embarked. We'll see if they're going to go for the Caribbean, if they're going to go for South America. It looks to me like they're going for South America, but we will see. It seems like the right choice for them if they were to go in that kind of direction. Surprised that we don't see more colonization from Portugal. I know for sure that I don't know when they're going to start, but they will start eventually. We'll see when that is. Yeah, so most literate. I mean, the Philippines are absolutely dominating, but they have like no military right now. They might be the most literate, but yeah, they have like nothing else really besides that going for them. Waiting to see when Mongolia is going to take out Byzantium. Maybe Byzantium's, or maybe Mongolia is just at that point where they just want to focus on colonization. But actually, completely forgot about that. If they don't get open borders through Korea, which they have before, but it doesn't look like that, they don't look like they have that currently, they will not be able to colonize anymore, unless, of course, they build it in one of the colonies that they stole away from India. They're both puppeted right now, so yeah, it's hard to tell. But if the Romans settle these 3 new cities, they will be right there with Mongolia in terms of, kind of wide empires. Still have no idea how I'm going to choose a victory for this. I have absolutely no idea. I didn't think it was going to be this close, and I absolutely love that. I want to factor in cities. I want to factor in the info addicts as a whole. I was thinking about just going strictly cities, but I don't know anymore. I think we might need to, I don't know, we'll see. You guys are really smart in the comment section. You guys always come up with some good ideas. I'm sure someone will probably give me a very good idea to kind of determine the winner. But right now, I'm going to say probably another 150 turns away. Probably another 150 turns away. Tibet is still moving after the Persian capital. Surprising there. I'm surprised that they haven't kind of stopped. We've got the Ottomans after the Philippines. Oh, okay. Oh, no, I'm sorry, other way around. So we might see a lot of people declaring war on the Ottomans. The Boer as well. But nothing too big. Obviously, Austria is going after the Ottomans. We'll see if anyone else joins in. So I'm guessing the Ottomans might have lost a little bit of troops. I want to know if Russia is ever going to attack Solomon. That was my prediction for a long time. When this region of the map destabilized, the Middle East, I really figured that, Ethiopia is plotting against France. I really figured that, well, at first I thought someone would blob out. Then very quickly I realized that no one's going to blob out. This whole region is just going to lose a ton of power. And most of it was mainly a stagnation. So now I think this region is eventually going to fall to someone that's going to absorb them up. Ooh, the Romans now declaring war on the Ottomans. All right, so this is a big deal. Especially if the Romans can somehow get open borders through Greece, which I seriously doubt, because the Greeks realize the strategical importance of not allowing the Romans to move throughout the eastern Mediterranean and through the Black Sea. The Greeks and the Romans probably don't like each other. I'm pretty sure we saw a spy mention that in the past, but we will see. But if the Romans did get open borders, I think they'd be able to make a pretty big impact on the siege of Constantinople, especially with Austria right there. Again, it's all dependent on Russia, though. What's Russia going to do? Or I guess Assyria, too. Assyria has rebuilt somewhat after their Persian War. They've actually rebuilt quite a bit. Maybe they'll declare war right now. Who knows? Persia has adopted order, and we'll have to double-check on ideologies and kind of check in on that. I'll probably check in on religion in the next video. We'll look at that in the intro. I always like doing that sort of thing. Oh, Poland and the Ottomans have peaced out. Surprised that Poland didn't maybe get open borders through Russia. I know their relationship isn't that good, but if they were able to do something like that, I mean, it'd be a pretty big impact on the world if Poland was able to actually maneuver around through Catherine's territory. And we have Mali here. So yes, like I said, we're probably another 150 turns away. I probably won't go. I will definitely not go more than 550. I don't know exactly. I don't want to get anyone's hopes up. I know for the Civ AI, the previous world battle that I did, I went to turn 600. So I went to turn 550, and then I fast forwarded to turn 600. I might do that again. I don't know. You know, everything with this channel is all time based. You know what I mean? Like Let's Play channels in general, it's like it's all about time. You know, so if I have enough time, I'm gonna do it. But like that's what the big limiting factor is. How much time do you have to dedicate? And if you have enough time, then you know you're gonna find some success. But you gotta always have that time. I'm gonna try, but we'll see. We might not end up going to 550. We might go to turn 500, and then I'll skip to 550. But it all depends. Obviously, having the game go, it takes a long time. Obviously, 50 turns. Especially at that late point in the game. So Rome has made it to the coast of South America, modern-day Brazil. They haven't really... I don't know if we can predict where these other two settlers are going to be going. Wait a second. Where did they go? There's one here. There's one that's already landed. I don't see much. That was one thing that we were mentioning in the previous episode. You know, they really... Ooh, France and Poland and Ethiopia. Again, this kind of alliance. It's a very interesting alliance. Poland and Ethiopia working together. Now, Poland might really seriously be able to get open borders through Roman territory. I don't know if they will, because we've seen that Poland has declared war on Augustus not too long ago. I'm sure the AI remembers that. I don't know if they're going to be willing to give up open borders. Portugal now going after the Ottomans. So the Ottomans have lost quite a bit, but, you know, none of these wars are really going to bring down the Ottomans' number more. If the Assyrians join in, then that would be a big deal. That would probably be enough to call in Catherine of the North, and then she'd come down from the Caucasus Mountains and probably dominate. I don't know. A lot of her military is actually focused in around this city, maybe worried more about... Well, I know she's expressed interest in the previous Afghan capital. She's been going to war. She went to war for, is it Kabul? I believe how you pronounce it. She's been attempting to take this city for hundreds of years, since Afghanistan was still around. So I know she wants this city. And I don't know if... I would guess that this force is probably there for Kabul, not for Mongolia. Those that would be a really, really bloody war, but, you know, who knows? Ethiopian army... Okay, so Ethiopia is sending over something. Ethiopia, they don't have much of a navy, so France doesn't have to worry too much. They'll probably declare another war. Oh, wait a second. Oh, that's very interesting. So Ethiopia and Poland worked together for that declaration, that kind of coalition war against Napoleon. The thing is, though, Napoleon was doing something weird with their troops anyways, around Ethiopian territory. Maybe Ethiopia got pissed off that, you know, maybe they felt threatened a bit. But wow. And Rome is certainly supporting them. So they've got a lot of riflemen here. Obviously, there's a technology difference with the infantry unit that Ethiopia has. I mean, they're going to be able to kick butt, quite a bit of butt, if it's just French riflemen. But, you know, they might be able to take Thebes if they just rush everything over. I mean, they're melee units. They won't last long, but they will distract the Ethiopian AI. This is very interesting to see kind of a somewhat B-lister civ, somewhat average civ in this campaign. Really, I mean, this is going to struggle. You know, one of the great powers of this world, this is really going to put them in a bind, and it's going to slow them down. I don't think we'll see Ethiopia get into a big war anytime soon. I think they had planned to get into a big war. I don't know if maybe they did compensate for... Maybe they realized that France was right there. I don't know. But I'm willing to bet that if Ethiopia wasn't facing this threat in the Siege of Thebes, they probably would have attacked the Middle East by now. Or not by now, but they were probably getting ready, fueling up for that attack of the Middle East. Okay, so now we have the Champa declaring war on France. So we might be seeing two kind of B-lister civs, kind of these average civs like the Ottomans in France, start to, you know, they're both kind of equally having to face a coalition. But nothing too impactful. Nothing yet that's been too impactful. Has Rome settled their... Yes, they have. Rome has settled their... How are they getting this population so high? That is really high. How do you already have 4 population? That's confusing. Well, nonetheless, they settled there with 4 population somehow. We'll have to see if they're always settling 4 population. That would be really weird. Is that... I am so confused. That is not a part of the game, right? It's funny because I use mods so much that I just... Some of the basic rules in Civ 5 I just do not remember. I know that obviously you start off 1 population for the most part, but because it's so late in the game, could there be some sort of policy that I'm skipping over that gives you extra pop. Okay, now it's going down to 3. Okay, so that must be a mistake. I know that we can't see the city. That is for sure because of the Filipino mod. That is a common glitch for the Philippines, which I know that everyone has mentioned to me. I will not be using the Philippines in other future games, I guess. Well, I mean, we'll see. I don't think. I mean, yeah, the Philippines are OP, but at the same time, they're not really showing it. They are pretty strong, though. I will say that they have some pretty crazy advantages. Ooh, Persia going for their second attack over Babylon. We've got Sweden attacking France. There is technically no border between these two nations, but Sweden is moving through Amsterdam, which is a part of the English Empire. So let's see how France is doing. No, France has actually decided to retreat, and I'm not sure if it's because of that Swedish war or what the reasoning might be, but this will not slow down the Ethiopians as we initially thought. Poland's declared war on Persia. Persia really is no place to declare war on someone like Babylon because they're still worried about the threat that Tibet is actually starting to push forward and stuff like that. I mean, that is pretty shocking, actually. What else were we looking at? Let's see, is Tibet still moving forward? I believe so. And the Ottomans might have just barely squeaked out. I mean, they could have been in a really bad spot. They were very close to being in a very bad spot. Poland, I don't believe, is going to get open borders. Actually, you know what? Poland might get open borders through Sweden. Oh, it doesn't matter. You need it through Rome, because Rome was very lucky picking up this one tile in the Baltic Sea. Such a big deal, because now Rome controls. If Poland ever wants to get to the west, they have to go through Roman territory. I mean, I guess they could send land units through Swedish territory. Oh, maybe not. I mean, they have to go through this Roman city. Then they have to go through through the English Empire. A lot of boats out here in the Atlantic. Let's go to the next turn. Don't really care what that spy says. They always just get my hopes up for nothing. Is there any more kind of settlers out here? Always want to be checking in on that. No, but the English do have quite a big fleet all over the place. They've really built up their own naval kind of world navy. Yes, this is a very interesting sort of thing that we're seeing. So it starts off with 4 pop, and then I'm guessing it goes down to 3, or what is happening? I don't know. I think there's still one more Roman settler around here somewhere, but Rome is going crazy for South America. Where did that final one go? There's also a bomber stationed. Dang. All right, so I would say top 3 is now starting to... Oh, there it is right there. Was it right in front of my face the entire time? Maybe it was. Top 3 is really starting to drastically switch to... You know, because I know that we discussed Korea, Russia, Poland, and Portugal, but I think it's becoming very clear. Ooh, Portugal's gearing up for that war. Look at that. Look at that force building in Orleans. They might be declaring war on France really soon, which is kind of what Portugal really needs. I mean, Portugal needs to. They need to go to war. I mean, they need to colonize. Obviously, they need to go to war, but they need to colonize. Let's see if they declare the war now. Nope. They have they have open borders through French territory. They actually seem to be maybe they changed their mind. It all depends on, I guess, how much success Sweden has. But anyways, yes, the top 3 nations are really starting to drastically change, and we'll go over that in the next episode. But anyways, guys, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you guys next time.